The story opens deep underground, where we meet a boy named Rudo, who secretly sneaks into restricted facilities to scavenge discarded items. While searching through the garbage, he's caught by guards who recognize him as a repeat offender. An alarm is triggered, and Rudo barely escapes through air ducts while being shot at, leaving injured but alive. News of the incident spreads quickly, and the citizens blame the slum residents. In the slums, everyone knows Rudo is responsible, and many fear he'll bring trouble to them. His friend Chiwa warns him to stop, but Rudo explains that he steals trash because the upper city throws away perfectly usable items, and selling them helps him survive. Later, Rudo is harassed by local boys who mock him for being the son of a criminal. They remind him that all slum residents descend from criminals, but claim they're trying to live better lives than Rudo ever will. When they insult his father, Rudo nearly loses control. Even so, Chiwa believes he isn't a bad person. Rudo lives with his guardian Regto, who raised him after he was abandoned. Regto scolds him for risking his life in trash raids, but also encourages him to be honest about his feelings for Chiwa. We learn that Rudo's father was executed by being thrown into the pit, a place where criminals are sent to die. Regto once gave Rudo gloves to hide his blackened hands. Hands people constantly judged. The next day, Rudo finally gives Chiwa the teddy bear, telling her it will be happier with her. She accepts it warmly, but that happiness is short-lived. When Rudo returns home, he finds Regto stabbed by a mysterious man who steals a book before escaping. Guards arrive and arrest Rudo, believing he murdered Regto. Despite his pleas, no one believes him, not even Chiwa. Rudo is sentenced to death and thrown into the pit. He survives the fall and awakens in a toxic wasteland filled with monstrous trash beasts. As poisonous air fills his lungs, Rudo fights desperately to stay alive. Just as he's about to collapse, a man named Engine appears, saves him with a gas mask, and effortlessly defeats the monsters using a weaponized umbrella. Engine explains that this world exists because the surface keeps dumping its waste below, creating trash beasts drawn to sound. He introduces himself as a cleaner, someone who fights these creatures using special objects called vital instruments, items that gain power when cared for deeply. After collapsing from exhaustion, Rudo awakens chained by raiders who try to sell him. In desperation, he awakens a hidden ability. By pouring his emotions into objects, he can bring out their power. Using chains and even a tire, Rudo overwhelms his captors. Engine watches from afar, realizing Rudo is a rare giver, someone who can give life to objects. Engine offers Rudo a deal: join the cleaners, grow stronger, and maybe one day learn how to return to the sphere above. Though hesitant, Rudo begins training and meets other cleaners like Zanka, who becomes his reluctant instructor. Despite clashes and misunderstandings, Rudo slowly learns that strength alone isn't enough. Control and purpose matter just as much. Rudo joins missions fighting trash beasts, alongside supporters who lack powers but risk their lives anyway. Though he struggles to control his abilities, his compassion and respect for others earn him trust. Still, enemies from the underground, like Jabber, begin moving in the shadows, targeting Rudo for the secrets he carries. Jabber approaches Rudo and tells him to come along because someone wants to speak with him. After removing Rudo's mask, he explains that there are no trash beasts nearby. When Rudo asks about Zanka, Jabber admits he spared him, only knocking him out. But the poison he used is causing Zanka severe pain. Jabber activates his vital instrument, turning his rings into deadly claws. The supporters rush in, but Jabber effortlessly avoids them, stating he's only interested in Rudo. When Grizz steps in to protect him, Jabber mocks supporters for being useless without vital instruments. Despite Rudo's warning, Jabber fatally stabs Grizz, and his lucky talisman slips from his hand. Rudo catches it before it hits the ground. Rudo recalls his childhood with Regto, remembering how he struggled with overwhelming anger and feelings of worthlessness after being abandoned. Regto helped him find comfort in fixing discarded items, realizing Rudo could see value in things others threw away. Back in the present, Rudo activates Grizz's talisman, shocking Jabber. It's revealed that Rudo's true power isn't simply turning objects into vital instruments, but drawing out their full potential. Jabber grows excited rather than fearful, eager to test Rudo further. As Grizz bleeds heavily, Rudo resolves to prove that supporters aren't weak. During their fight, Jabber can't land a single hit. Rudo explains that the talisman allows him to predict Jabber's movements by sensing hostile intent, letting him defend without moving. Using his fists, Rudo finally lands a blow, but Jabber enjoys the pain and quickly adapts. Jabber discovers the talisman's weakness. It can't react to objects without intent. He uses debris to attack, then injects himself with his own toxin to lose control and bypass the talisman's detection. The battle turns chaotic, forcing Rudo to retreat. Just as Rudo is overwhelmed, Zanka returns, still weakened but standing. Together, they test a risky plan. Zanka attacks Rudo, triggering the talisman to launch him directly into Jabber. Their coordinated strikes finally bring Jabber down, but the talisman crumbles to dust once its purpose is fulfilled. Suddenly, Rudo collapses from poison. Jabber reveals his claws can restore his strength and poisons Zanka again before escaping with Rudo. Engine arrives just in time, intercepting Jabber and forcing him to retreat under orders from his superior. Jabber promises Rudo they'll meet again. Grizz survives thanks to the cleaner's medical team and a healer named Aishia. Corvus, the leader of the cleaners, acknowledges Rudo's actions and officially welcomes him into their ranks. He explains the existence of the border between the sphere and the ground, and mentions a woman living near it who may know how people travel between worlds. Rudo prepares for a dangerous journey, but is told to rest and train first. At headquarters, he learns more about his powers and discovers that his ability works best on discarded objects. His gloves are revealed to be part of a larger series, a detail that also interests Jabber's mysterious boss. The cleaners travel to Canvas Town to seek a graffiti giver named Gob, only to learn he died from pollution. His successor, a young girl named Remlin, inherits his vital instrument and honors him by turning her art into a celebration. She later draws a protective spell on Rudo. After receiving his completed mask from the eccentric artist August, the team ventures into no man's land. They battle trash beasts and eventually meet a woman named Amo, who confirms she knows about travel between the sphere and the ground. However, her unstable behavior reveals she's a giver who manipulates others using scent-induced hallucinations. Rudo remembers the teddy bear he once gave Chiwa and how she promised to treasure it forever. But that memory twists into the moment she threw it away when he was sentenced to the pit. As he talks to Amo, he realizes something is wrong. Amo is causing hallucinations. She reveals that her boots release a scent that brings back happy memories, forcing people to want to protect her. Zanka and Canes put on their masks to resist her power and prepare to stop her. But Rudo sees Chiwa being arrested, and Amo urges him to save her. Confused, he attacks Zanka and Canes, while Rio and Follow are also revealed to be under Amo's influence. Surrounded, Canes decides he has no choice and activates his vital instrument. Amo mocks them, claiming her fans will protect her, but Canes spins his distaff, releasing ropes that bind everyone in place. The tighter they struggle, the stronger the ropes become. With another spin, Canes pulls them together and traps even Amo. He smashes the ground, sending everyone crashing below. Thanks to Remlin's spell, they survive the fall. Rudo's wounds heal, and Engine suddenly appears behind Amo, revealing he stole one of her boots. Without both boots, her power fades, and everyone regains control. Amo is restrained, but Rudo removes his mask and brutally attacks her, shocking the others. Engine stops him, and Rudo admits he's losing control of the darkness inside him, realizing he hasn't changed as much as he thought. At Cleaner HQ, Corvus questions Semiu, who reveals she saw a growing curse within Rudo, something that could one day destroy the world. Amo later explains her past. As a child, she was sold by her mother to a trafficker. Two mysterious figures, whom she believes were angels, gave her the boots that filled the emptiness in her heart. When she used their power, she killed the man who abused her and lived alone ever since, waiting for someone to love her. Rudo realizes one of them is the man who killed Regto, reigniting his desire for revenge. Amo notes that Rudo's gloves and her boots belong to the same series, items meant for people with holes in their hearts. The two share a moment of understanding, agreeing that instead of striking others, they must reach out their hands to connect. As the cleaners leave, Amo stays behind in the tower, hoping they'll visit again. But once they're gone, Jabber appears and kidnaps her. Meanwhile, the cleaners are ambushed by raiders led by Zodal, who separates them using portals. Zodal confronts Rudo, revealing his goal to destroy the sphere. Elsewhere, battles break out. Zanka versus Jabber, Rio versus Noerde, and others fighting one-on-one. Zanka pushes himself beyond his limits against Jabber, recalling his past as a prodigy from the Nijiku clan, who was humbled by someone more talented. Despite being poisoned, he refuses to fall, proving that even someone mediocre can stand against a monster. Rio and Noerde clash in a brutal fight that tears apart everything around them. Though evenly matched, Rio lands a strong hit, but Noerde quickly recovers and slams her to the ground. Using her comb, Noerde generates static electricity, forcing Rio to dodge and counter by throwing her scissors. Both fighters are left exhausted, and when Rio coughs up blood, Noerde taunts her, saying no one will hear her screams for help. Suddenly, Rio shoots Noerde with a pistol. Shocked, Noerde questions why she has a gun. Rio reveals she was once a hitman, and although her scissors are her vital instrument, she refuses to stain them with blood. The gun is just a normal weapon from her past. She spares Noerde out of respect for Engine, but threatens her for information about the others. Noerde admits she doesn't know their locations, only mentioning that the pipes in the area are connected. Elsewhere, Rio finds Jabber wounded, but alive, and rescues Zanka, who is barely holding on. The situation is reported to Zodal, who realizes the cleaners are stronger than expected. He pulls Rudo into his portal and explains his plan involving the Watchman series, ancient vital instruments far older and more powerful than normal ones. He reveals that failed attempts to recreate them resulted in trash beasts, including the massive one they are currently inside. Zodal explains that entries from the Watchman series can drive people insane. Yet both he and Rudo remain sane, because they lost parts of their humanity. He plans to cross the border using the giant trash beast, which begins to awaken and move. Meanwhile, Engine and the others realize they are trapped inside the trash beast. As chaos spreads, battles break out across different areas. Bro, Bundus, and Deer fight to escape while the beast prepares to fly. The situation worsens as the group approaches the border during a trash storm. Rudo confronts Zodal once more and rejects his offer to join the raiders. He declares that his gloves, which he names 3R, represent reducing waste and protecting what others discard. Letting go of the ledge, he chooses the cleaners, who accepted him despite his past. Engine and the others arrive, and a final battle erupts around the beast's core. Bundus blocks the path with multiple vital instruments, overwhelming the cleaners. Realizing brute force won't work, Rudo unlocks the full potential of his gloves, transforming his nail gun. By concentrating all his power, he fires devastating shots that shatter Bundus's defenses and expose the core. Although the trash beast begins to collapse, Gita activates her vital instrument and transforms into a kaiju, sealing a breach in the wall and saving everyone from being pulled into the storm. The core is finally destroyed, and the beast crashes back to the ground. The cleaners survive, but Amo remains missing. Back at HQ, Zanka recovers and reflects on his defeat, vowing to grow stronger. Zodal, meanwhile, confirms his experiment was a success and prepares another trash beast, continuing his obsession with the Watchmen series. Later, Rudo helps Remlin recover her confidence through art, and together they visit Canvas Town, home to the spellcaster's mural. There, they discover symbols linked to the Watchmen series, and learn about Canis Sherbrek, a name that deeply unsettles Rudo, hinting that his past and the truth behind the Watchmen series are far from over.